In Ayodhya, the shock and loss and pain of what had happened had taken a terrible toll on Dashrath. His health was failing. One evening, late at night, he told Kausalya, "Why am I surprised at this turn of events? It is all the result of my karma. Let me tell you a story that happened a long time back, before our marriage." And then Dashrath starts narrating this story. He says, "I was a young prince then. I was out hunting near the banks of Sarayu. In the thick forest, late at night. It was raining. I was waiting for some animal to come to the riverside, my bow armed. And then I heard a sound, a gurgling sound. I thought an elephant was drinking water. And I shot my arrow to the source of that sound. And then I heard a man scream and fall into the water. I rushed to the riverside. I had made a terrible mistake. There was no elephant. It was the sound of a pot being filled. My arrow was stuck in the man's chest. He was lying in a pool of mud and blood. He looked up at me with bloodshot eyes and said, 'Why did you do that? I did not harm you. I am an ascetic. I had come here to take some water for my father and mother. They are old and frail and blind. With just one arrow, you have killed all three of us.' In his dying moments, the ascetic told me the way to his ashram and asked me to go and tell his parents what had happened. I went and told his parents somehow. The news crushed them. I brought them back to the riverside, and they grieved for a long time next to their dead son's body. And then, when I lit a funeral pyre, the old man and woman walked into the fire and killed themselves. The blind couple felt that with their son gone, they had nothing to live for. But just before he killed himself, the old man said, 'If you had killed my son, an ascetic, knowingly, you and your entire clan would have perished. I know it was a mistake, but even then, you must pay for it. Just as I am suffering now, O king, you too shall die of the sorrow of losing your son. Evam tvam putra shokena rajan kalam karishyasi.' That was what the man had said. And how true the words had turned out. Dashrath, his health was failing. Also, he lost his eyesight. He was just like the blind old man pining for his lost son. And later that night, Dashrath passed away in his sleep.
This is very soon after Shri Ram left.
Just a few days. The pain and loss was too much for him. In later retellings, in this story, the ascetic's name is given as Shravan Kumar. You may have heard of that. But in the Valmiki Ramayana, that name is not mentioned. But there is something else about him and his family that is mentioned, which is very interesting. So Valmiki says that the young ascetic and his parents, they lived in a small ashram. Their time was spent in the study of scriptures and discussions on them. The son was a regular with the Sandhya Upasana and other daily rites. Maharshi Valmiki has repeatedly used the words Rishi, Muni and Tapasvi for all three of them. Well, what comes as a surprise to us modern readers is Maharshi Valmiki says in the passing that the Rishi's father was a Vaishya by birth and the mother was a Shudra. So what this shows that at the time of Ramayana, the spiritual path.
If you enjoyed this clip from the Ranveer Show, we've uploaded a ton of other clips related to a ton of other topics. So explore the channel because there's something for everyone.